Hello friends, welcome to my channel and explore the world of Microsoft Azure. My name is Rajneesh Kaushik and I'm a Microsoft certified trainer, consultant and an enterprise architect. For more latest videos and blogs, you can always log into my website rajneeshkaushik.com and subscribe to my blog. Please do not forget to subscribe my channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss the latest videos. Do like, share and comment. Today's topic is how to register and scan ADLS Gen2 and Azure SQL database in Microsoft Purview. Here is the agenda. First, we will understand the Purview environment and what are the different components we have deployed. Then we will understand what is Azure managed identity and how Azure Purview uses that managed identity. Then we will go through the topic of registering and scanning Azure's Data Lake Gen2 account in Purview, and then how we will learn how to register and scan Azure SQL database in Azure Purview. And finally, we will jump to a demo. So let's get started. We have created an Azure Purview account and we have created an ADLS Gen2 and Azure SQL database, and we will register the Azure SQL database in ADLS Gen2, and we will scan these files and the records in SQL databases via Azure Purview. Okay, so let's understand what is managed identity and how Azure Purview uses that. So there are two common challenges when you build a solution or application for the cloud. So first challenge is that whenever you develop that code, you need to manage these credentials in your code because your code is ultimately going to authenticate against the cloud service. And second challenge is that if you use this code and you by mistake developers check in this code into GitHub, then your credentials are compromised because these credentials are stored in the GitHub. So there is a way you can store these credentials. You can store these credentials into the Azure Key Vault, and you can authenticate against the Azure Key Vault and retrieve that credential from Key Vault. Now, so these are the ways you can store the credential. But there is a better way, and what is that better way? It is called managed identity. Managed identity solves these two challenges. Okay, with the managed identity, you can authenticate any services that is supported by Azure AD authentication, and including the Key Vault. That means you don't have to separately store the Key Vault, credentials, and you can authenticate against any of the services, including Key Vault, without using the credentials in your code. Okay, so we are going to use the same concept in Azure Purview. In Purview, we are going to use managed identity, and this managed identities are free feature. There is no cost, and we will use the same concept in Azure Purview. Okay, so let's understand. Okay, so we are going to now understand the steps involved in registering and scanning ADLS Gen2 account in Microsoft Purview. So first, we will have to grant the managed identity of the Azure Purview access to the ADLS Gen2. Then we will upload data into ADLS Gen2 account so that we can scan that data in the later steps. Then we will create a collection in Azure Purview because first we need to create a collection and then we need to add the resources to that collection, and one of the resources will be ADLS Gen2 account. Then we will register a source. In this case, it is ADLS Gen2 account in Purview. Once you registered it, then you will start the scanning process, and this scanning will be done with the help of Purview managed identity. You remember we have added this identity in the first step because now the managed identity have access to ADLS Gen2, so it can easily scan that ADLS Gen2 data. Once you scan that and then your scanning job is finished, you will be able to verify that if all the ADLS Gen2 data is visible in Azure Purview. So these are the steps for scanning and registering the ADLS Gen2 account. Okay, so this is the environment I have created. In this, I have created a Azure Purview resource group. Purview demo resource group. In that I have a SQL database. Obviously SQL database requires a server, so this is the server. And then I have created a ADLS Gen2 here. So let me show you the Purview account I have created. This is a Purview account in the same resource group. Here we are on the Azure Purview, and this is Azure Purview Studio, and we see that there is a collection demo of Purview already there. Okay, so let's register and scan the ADLS Gen2. This is our ADLS Gen2. We'll go to access control, add role assignment. In add role assignment, we will add the role of storage, blob, data reader. It's going to ask the managed identity. We will select the member and the managed identity of Azure Purview. There is one managed identity, and it is the identity which we are going to use, and select it. And then we will say next, next, and then review and assign. So managed identity is getting added. Now let's create a container while this managed identity is getting added. So we'll create a container called raw. And then we will upload the data inside this raw by uploading some content. Okay, now let's upload some data. So I'm going to open the Storage Explorer. So I'm going to upload some data, and this is a Storage Explorer. I'm going to upload the folder here. So I'm going to upload this Bing coronavirus query set folder here. Upload. So it has successfully uploaded this folder. Now we will, after the folder is uploaded, like what you can see here, we will create a collection. I would create a collection called My Collection. And in this collection, we are going to add the source here. So we will register the ADLS Gen2. And while using this is going to use the storage account. So this is the storage account we have, and it's going to all take this collection. So instead of this collection, I will add my collection which I have created here and register it. So it's going to register this. You can easily see this is already registered. Now I'm going to create a scan, and this scan will be using Azure Purview Managed Identity, and the collection is this, and I'm going to say test connection. Test connection will be successful. I'm going to say continue. It's going to continue, and you can see that it automatically took the raw container, and then inside that it automatically took the uploaded folder, and I will continue. So now once I say I want to select the rule, so this I have already selected this, and continue. So there are options like you can set up the recurring trigger for this, or you can create a once. So in recurring trigger, you can say that it need to recur every this many months or this many weeks, and then what are the days it need to scan it, and the timing, start of the timing, and scan timing, occurrence, recurrence timing, all that things you can add. But instead of making it too complicated, we will just say once and do the scanning. Now it's providing you review, so you can review it. If you want to change it anything, you can go back and change it. So we are good as of now. So we'll save and run, and it will automatically start the scan. And if you go here, um, you will see that this scan is created. This scan is in queue. You can see that the scan is going on and there is no discovered asset. But once the scan is done, you will be able to see that there are lots of discovered assets. Okay, so now we can see that the scan is completed successfully, and this first scan have discovered 33 assets, out of which 2 assets are certified. With this, we have successfully completed the step of registering and scanning the ADLS Gen2. We are going to register Azure SQL DB, and before we do the SQL DB registration, we will have to create a secrets and create access policies. So first access policy will be created where I am going to add the principal, service principal of my name, and I'm going to grant all the permissions, and I have added that. Now I'm going to add another access policy. This access policy I'm going to add the get and list permissions, and I'm going to add the managed identity of Azure Purview and select it. So you can see that I have added this managed identity permission for getting and listing the secrets. And I'm saving this. Now we will add the secret here. So the secret will be manual. Name of the secret will be SQL secret, and then the value of the secret will be SQL password ! And create it. Now the secret is successfully created. Then now we will go to Azure Purview, and in the management we are going to register this Key Vault. So you can see that I am going to register the managed Key Vault, create a new connection. Connection name will be my Key Vault, and then it will find the Key Vault which is already there in your subscription. So in my case, it is the same Key Vault which I was using. If you can see, this is the same Key Vault here. So I'm going to add this connection. It is asking to confirm the access, granting the access to this Key Vault, and I'm going to grant this, confirm this access, and then this is created now. You can see that it is created. Close it. Okay, so now we are going to create a credential. The credential name is Credential SQL. We are going to use SQL authentication, and then username will be SQL admin, because this is the same username which is getting created when I created my SQL server. So this is my admin username, and then the password will be extracted with the help of Key Vault. So the password will be extracted from the Key Vault. This is the same Key Vault we registered, my Key Vault, and the secret name will be SQL secret. You remember we have created a SQL secret already. And then this is the latest version, so let's create it. So now the credential is already created. Now we are ready, so let's go ahead and then register the SQL server. So this is our data catalog. Let's go to my collection. In my collection, we will register Azure SQL DB. This is my Azure SQL database. Continue. And now it is asking about the subscription. We selected all the subscription. Server name is this server name. This is the same server name which we hosting the SQL database. Then the collection name is my collection, and it will register it. Okay, so it is successfully registered. Now let's see how do we scan it. So we will use this auto resolve integration runtime. The database name, it automatically took the database name. It is getting the credential. So this time, instead of taking the managed identity, we are getting this credential which we have created earlier. And this is the credential SQL. And it is telling me to use the particular selection. So we don't want lineage. So let's turn it off and then test that connection. Okay, so the connection is successful. We will continue, and once we continue, it will give you the database name and all the tables. So in this case, we will select all the tables, and then scan rules, we will select the default one. And instead of triggering recurring trigger, we will use the once, and then we will continue and save and run. So now it will trigger it once. Okay, so now it is successfully completed doing the scan. So let's see, the scan is already in progress. It is a queue, and we will refresh it to see how many discovered assets are identified. Okay, so now we can see that we have successfully completed the scan, and it has discovered 18 assets and 15 classified assets. So let's browse those assets. So we'll go to browse assets and my collections. You can see that these are the browse assets for the SQL database, SQL DB, Azure SQL DB, and these are the assets for the ADLS Gen2. So with this, we have successfully completed all the two scenarios of registering and scanning SQL database as well as ADLS Gen2. Thanks for watching, and do not forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you